Hello. I've been working on this college application process, let's call it. Well, it is. It is a process. It's just frustrating. But what I've come to realize is that. Oh crap. I forgot something. One moment. Alright, I got my train of thought together. And, like a couple days ago. Well, let me back up. I have a mentor. He helps me with, I'm part of this program called EXO, and we're DuPage County, so we partner with Argonne National Lab, and they provide us with a scientific mentor who's an expert in their field, whether it's chemistry, engineering, or some type of engineering. I know there's different facets, but either way. Since I was competing in biology, I had my mentor he worked in metagenomics and ecology and stuff like that. So I've known him since my freshman year. And so he's always, I need to back up again. Originally I didn't want to do EXO because I didn't think I'd be able to have that and do gymnastics and school, and at that time I was still doing piano, and I was like, I don't want to do this, but my mother was like, you have to, blah blah blah. And so for like the first meeting when we were at Argonne, this is before he officially became my mentor, and then we had to meet all the scientists so we could choose who our mentor was, and I just cried the whole time. It was terrible. I had problems back then. I still do, but not as... Actually, I shouldn't say it's not as bad. It's just... I haven't done it recently at that point. I mean, on that kind of caliber. So... Once I knew I was forced to do this, I was like, okay, I have to actually go through with this. Jared, my mentor, he's a really busy man. Like, he has a lot of stuff. Like, he has a full-time job. He's a graduate candidate, so he has wait, let me back up. He volunteers with EXO. He volunteers with some football thing. He's a football coach. He works full-time. And he does, what is it called? Well, he has 2 kids and a wife, and he does other stuff. I can't remember all the stuff he does, but he's very busy. And then I was like, okay, so if he's able to do all this, maybe I can do this. And just seeing that somebody could juggle all that together, I was like, he was a PhD candidate. That's what it is. So he has to go to classes. That's what I was forgetting. But either way, I was just like, if he can do all this, I can do it. I can juggle EXO, piano, gymnastics, school. I can do it, which I did. Somehow, I don't know. It was a rough year, either way. But what I've had a realization, I've reflected, or actually, okay, right now it's my senior year. That was back in freshman year. And I'm still trying to juggle my stuff. It's rough, it really is. But he's been adding more stuff to his plate, as if what he already had was not enough. But he's very ambitious and just has that drive. Because he's like, this is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it whatever it takes. That he seems like that kind of person. He's just like, I'll do whatever it takes to get where I want to go. But at some point, I mean, he's younger, but I don't even know how old he is. Honestly, I have no idea how old he could be in his late 20s or early 30s. Either way, my dad was like, he's gonna burn out because got 2 kids, got work, got volunteering, got school. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's kind of, the pressure bears down on you. And to add to that, recently he's had some other personal troubles, and it's just bore down on him to the point that he's suffering from depression. And then when my mom told me that, I was kind of like, it kind of got to me. I don't know, and I couldn't figure it out at the time. And I was like, why is this? I felt sad, and I couldn't figure out why I felt sad. And I kept thinking throughout the day. I usually do most of my thinking in the bathroom, because it's, usually in the bathroom. You're in the bathroom. It's just the perfect time to think. If you're ever just in the bathroom, in the shower, or whatever you're doing in the bathroom, just sit there and think. That's where I do most of my thinking, and that's where I have most of my revelations. And I'll just be like, wow. And I figured out why I was sad. I was sad for him. But I found that I don't know, a lot of my faith in myself was rested in him, because it was mostly, because I've had a lot of anxiety with my case, or just insecurities, maybe that's it. And I doubted my abilities in really everything that I did. So it was like, if he has all this stuff, well, let me just say it like this. I was motivated to get through everything that I was doing because he was able to get through everything that he was doing. And now that he's bogged down to the point that he's depressed, and I'm like, where does that leave me? I know that sounds, I almost feel a little selfish for that, but it's nothing he could have done about it. It's just how it is. But I was just thinking, I'm not saying he's not able to do it, but just in my head, it was like, if he can't do it, how can I do it? And that's what I've been thinking lately. I'm like, and then I went even broader. It's not even specifically me putting faith in people. It's more that I usually hold people in such high regard, and me down here, and I'm just trying to reach up and be like, I want to be where you are. And they just, they're up there. They're always like above me. And it's hard for me to see them as people. I know it doesn't make it, maybe I should say humans. It's hard for me to see people as humans when they are like up here. It's like a celebrity. Okay, I shouldn't say a celebrity, but if I say it this way, you usually see celebrities on the red carpet. Oh my god, they're always perfect, their hair's always on point, their clothes are stylish and together, and everything looks so good. And then you just don't know what's going inside of that other person. You don't know whatever they're going through. Like, it's just, it's a little unnerving. Because you have these high expectations. Because you're like, I want to be where they are. And then you realize that they're on the same level as you. And it's like, what? Then what am I reaching for? And so this is what I was kind of left with. It was just like, what am I supposed to do? It's hard for me to see people as equals. I don't know. I know that sounds, but it makes, see, saying it just alone without a context, that sounds kind of bad. Like, I can't see people as equals. But it's usually that I was always reaching up to their position. They're always like on the top step, where I'm like on the second step. And I'm like, oh god, I gotta keep climbing. But when I realize we're both on the same staircase and on the same second step, it makes me upset, because I'm like, what the mess? Am I ever gonna get up to the third step? But we all have our problems, and that's what frustrates me, and that kind of ties into my perfectionist video because I'm always like, I'm looking for a certain point that I'm done and I don't have to worry about like being wrong or doing something stupid or saying something to somebody and it doesn't come out right so they get upset with me and then you're always, I mean, perfection is perfection, but perfection isn't a thing, but it doesn't mean that I don't want it any less. No, it doesn't mean that I want it any less. That's what I meant to say. But still, it's a little frustrating for me, to be honest. Because especially, I mean, the way you think about it, a mentor he shows you the way. And then when you see your mentor as someone who's human, you're just like, how are you supposed to show me the way? It's not that I've lost faith in him, it's just, I don't know, get different perspectives and it messes with me. The thing, my dad would always say there's Jedis and Siths, good lord. Siths see things as black and white, right and wrong, high and low. And Jedis are like, oh, it's the gray area, there's no right or wrong, it just is. And that's just confusing to people because you're like, you can't just say things, it just is. Because we're all in our own heads and we only have our own perspective. So it's hard for us to imagine where things are wrong for one person, but right for another. And it's like, I don't know. It's just frustrating. I don't know if that even came out. I don't know if any of that made any sense. But it's just easier for me to talk through it because then it helps me to understand what's jumbled in my head. Because, yeah, it's one thing to just think, just sit there in silence and stare off into space and be like, yeah, I understand everything. And then when you speak it out, you're like, that didn't make any sense. That's what I'm doing right now, trying to practice articulating my thoughts, which I have a problem with. Actually, yesterday, my mom was playing. I'm not gonna get too in this, but I was interviewed for the local NPR thing, and the lady was asking me questions, and oh my god, I'm terrible at being interviewed. I can't answer questions verbally. Because at one point, she was like, oh, so what do you think? I don't even remember what she asked. But she asked, like, I don't remember what she asked. She asked something about my science project and something else. And then I was trying to answer. I was like, and it wasn't that dramatic. But it was to the point that it was like, is she going to get any words out? Because it just sounds like, I didn't get a word out. And then she was like, I think she caught on and she was like, okay, let's move on. And she just asked me another question. She's like, so what about this? And I was like, thank God. But listening back to that, I was like, oh my God, that was terrible. I can't answer questions. Like, I know what I want to say in my head, but getting it out my mouth is like a speed bump or like more like a pothole. I can't really think of a good comparison with a pothole, but maybe it's more that it's just in the way. My mouth is in the way for me speaking. I know that doesn't make any sense, but it's just like words are jumbled in my mouth and then they're like fighting to get out first, and then I'll just talk out of order and be like, wait, let me repeat that, and then it's just a mess. Like, I can't, it's hard for me to speak through what I'm thinking. So that's what these videos are helping me to do, whether they are entertaining or not, to the viewers that I don't really care if I have or not. This is just for my own thing. If people choose to look at it, that's you. I don't really care. But, yeah. So, I don't know if anything what I said made any sense, but Yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you.